So now that we have filled everything out, we have picked an object name, which we look through the lexicon. The lexicon is a book, well, it's also online, that gives a museum name to every artifact or every object. That way, everything is kind of the same throughout all of the museums. This book is known as a book, commonplace. Commonplace is just a reading book. And so that is the term that we are going with. Now, I already have the pictures in, as you can see. So those are added in. And now we're going to go to full record instead of just this is the pertinent information, where we have a whole lot more that we can add. And we are going to look at dimensions. And this is very important. I can write into the descriptions, it's a small book, but what does that mean to you could be something that means something different to me. So we will measure the book, and it is 3.5 inches long. So we'll put in 3.5 inches. Oops. And it is just 2.25 inches wide. So it's a very tiny book, and now you can get that. And the depth is even tinier. I'm not sure if I'm going to get an accurate read on this. It is just 1/2 inch. So 0.50. And that will help us find this book if for some reason it ever gets lost. So now we're going to save all of that, and we have an object file right here under our accession. Now, something else we have to do is we have to mark the book. That way we can find the book. Now we have a box over here of all kinds of marking equipment. My chair is haunted. So we have acetone, and we have a product called B72. These are things that are safe for putting on objects. When we do cloth, we can sew in white 100% cotton. If it's an object that is too delicate to mark or difficult to mark, we can do tabs. And we always use either pencil or archival ink, things that will not add any toxic things to the objects. We have to be very careful about acids. Even when we wrap with tissue, as the book is on now, it is acid-free tissue. So since this is a book with paper, we always use pencil. Again, no pens anywhere near the artifacts. If you get pen mark on an artifact, it doesn't come off. But pencil can always be erased. So normally on a book, we're going to go into the inside cover, but as you can see, this one has a very dark, you're not going to see that. So we're going to go to the second page. And on there, we're going to just very delicately write the number, and as small as that we can, but still readable, so as not to ruin the aesthetic of the book. We're going to put 2020.3.1, as you can see. Is that good? Mm-hmm. And then we're going to put it away. On here we have a location where we can actually find it, home location. But first we have to wrap it up and put it away proper. So I have some acid-free tissue paper. We're going to wrap it nice and delicate. And then on the front, very delicately, so as not to tear the paper, we're going to write 2020.3.1. And we already have a box ready. Of course, an archival box, acid-free. And we're going to put it in with others of its kind. So here's a few tiny other little books. We'll put that in there. And then to make sure we can find it on the shelves, we are going to label it yet once again, 2020.3.1. And we will place it under C3 on our shelving in the Mitchell room, where we have already predetermined the location. So here is C3 in the Mitchell room. We're going to just put that in the shelves. And as you can see, we have a whole lot here that we have being preserved of Birmingham history. Now the paperwork, the fun part. So the paperwork. This is where we have to kind of keep a hard copy file of everything. Even though we have everything in the computer and very easily accessible, say one day we lose electricity and we can't access our computers for a day or two, and somebody has a question or we need to find an artifact, we can continue working because we're going to have a file on every object in the museum. In the file, we're going to print off a deed of gift. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually have you do some paperwork at home too. We are going to send you a thank you note and 2 deeds of gifts. One for you to keep, one for you to sign and send back to us. We've put that with a self-addressed stamped envelope, so you don't even have to spend, I don't even know how much stamps are anymore, but send that back to us so we can finish our paperwork. So we have to print off 2 deeds of gifts, the thank you letter, fill out the envelope, set that aside for our director to sign and mail off to you. And then we wait patiently for you to send back your deed of gift. While we're waiting, what we'll do is we'll take your temporary custody receipt and we'll put it in your file. We will take any type of information that you sent us. Mary Olson, the woman who gave us the book, told us that, "I'm glad you will enjoy the book. I recall as a child being in Mrs. Shane's impressive library with my grandmother, and when she learned I liked things in a miniature scale, she gave me the little book." Now this will be preserved on acid-free paper, and it's also in the record, so we'll always know that this was a gift of a kind woman to a little child who just loved miniature things, because, you know, who doesn't? We will also have a file of the accession, and for every object that is brought in with that accession, we will have a separate object sheet with a picture, the name, the number, and all the information that we printed into the computer. And that will also go into the file. And then this will be in our filing cabinet. When we are finished and the file is completely finished, we will mark off all of our things. And when you send that deed of gift back, this file will be considered complete and closed, and I will be very happy.